Family, watch this word. Delay is not meant to make you doubt, but it's meant to produce faith. But when we're faced with a promise and the circumstances, we tend to trust our circumstances more. Family, hear me. Joseph received a dream and then he was thrown into the pit, betrayed by his brothers and faced years in prison. Oftentimes God will promise us something, but our circumstances look completely opposite to his promise. See, from the outside, it looked like the promise was only getting further away. But when you really read the text, you see that Joseph is actually getting closer to the fulfillment of the promise. And the same is often true for you and I. We often think that delay is a punishment, that maybe you and I did something wrong. But what if delay is actually the path that gets us to the promise? God wasn't abandoning Joseph, he was preparing him. And then listen to what God says about Israel in Deuteronomy. He tells them that he led them through the wilderness to humble them, to test them and to know what was in their hearts. See, God already knew their hearts, but the wilderness made sure that they did. See, the wilderness didn't create Israel's unbelief, it only uncovered it. Hear me, some of us keep trying to ask God to bring us out of the wilderness, while he's showing us what still needs to die there. Pay attention, we don't always hate the waiting. We don't mind waiting for something that we want. We don't mind waiting for things that we like. That new game that's coming out, you don't mind waiting for that. Those plans that you have next week, you're looking forward to that. But all of a sudden, when it comes to waiting on God, we don't like it. See, we hate the waiting because of what it exposes. Our pride, our unbelief, our lack of faith, our complaining, and our self-reliance. Pay attention, the greatest threat to God's promise wasn't the wilderness. It wasn't the pit, it wasn't the slavery. It was the heart that refused to trust him in it. Some of us are praying, Lord, change my circumstances. Lord, give me relief. Lord, help me. He's trying to change you. He's trying to refine you. He's trying to purify you. Before God fulfills his promise, he cultivates a person who can carry the promise. He cultivates a person who will steward that promise in humility, steward the promise in faith, steward the promise with a heart for God, steward the promise in obedience. Pay attention, the wilderness exposed what was in Israel. The pit, the slavery, prison exposed what was in Joseph. Your trials, your losses, your hardship, your failures, your struggles, they expose what are in you. If God fulfills his promise on a version of you that is not ready, on the version of you that is not surrendered, on the version of you that is not refined, you will mishandle the promise. So don't fight the season that God is using to make you more like Christ. The promise is beautiful, but if receiving the promise costs your dependence on Christ, you've misunderstood the purpose of the promise. God isn't only preparing your future, he's preparing your heart. And before God entrusts you with more, he often exposes the things that would destroy you if he gave it to you too soon.